Agencies aren't slowing down, they're spending. Modernization contracts, infrastructure builds, and niche consulting work are all moving right now, and the window to get in front of buyers is open today. This is This Week in Procurement. Welcome to This Week in Procurement, your weekly outlook on state, local, and education government contracting opportunities. I'm your host, Abby Souffrant. Let's get into the top 5 opportunities that stood out this week. But first, before we get into our top 5, I want to make sure you save this video because we have some hot fire in our top 5 this week. And that is a representation of the contracts that came out at this week's cycle. So make sure you hit that save button so you don't miss out and you know where to come back to find these opportunities. First up, out of the state of Washington, we have a recycling and waste station program service with a budget of $50,250. This is a community-level environmental contract. The scope includes recycling program planning, stewardship analysis, waste station design, and community engagement. This is a great fit for our environmental consultants as well as our sustainability specialists. This signals that local governments are not just checking a compliance box, they want measurable, scalable waste reduction outcomes. So if you have documented results in environmental program management, this is your lane. Next up, out of the state of Washington, we have a marketing, information, education, and research contract with a very nice budget of $500,000 to $800,000. Now, this is a major public outreach investment. The scope includes marketing strategy, education campaigns, content creation, and ongoing research support. This is a great fit for our full-service marketing agencies as well as public communication specialists. Now, the signals for these types of contracts are that agencies are prioritizing long-term, high-volume public engagement, not one-off campaigns. So if you can show sustained audience reach and community trust, you are the exact fit that they're looking for these type of contracts. Next up, out of the state of New York, we have a professional landscape architecture design service contract with a $4 million budget. Now, this project is for large-scale landscape design and environmental planning. So the scope for this type of contract includes landscape architecture, site planning, design development, and construction documentation. So if you are a landscape architecture firm or have urban design practices, this is a wonderful opportunity for you. Now, these types of contracts signals that municipalities are updating public spaces and want long-term design partners, not vendors who hand off a plan and disappear. And if your portfolio includes public-facing design at scale, New York is calling, so make sure you pick up. Our next contract, again, out of the state of New York, because New York is on fire this week, is laboratory testing services with a nice budget of $230,000. This is a recurring annual testing work scope. So the type of work included in this type of contract is sample analysis, reporting, and compliance testing. This is a great fit for our certified labs as well as our environmental testing providers. These types of contracts signal ongoing operational needs that are tied to health, safety, and environmental standards. So this is the kind of contract that renews quietly every year as long as you perform perfectly. If you are certified and can document a clean compliance record, this is a reliable revenue stream, definitely worth pursuing. Last, out of the state of Florida, we have an employer of record staffing service contract with a really nice budget of $3.6 million. So this is a full HR management contract. The scope includes payroll, onboarding, compliance, and benefits administration. This is a best fit for our staffing agencies and HR outsourcing firms. This signals that rising labor demands and the need for compliant, scalable workforce management is very much so important. So with Florida's population growth, it's not slowing down, and neither is the demand for firms that can handle the infrastructure behind it. Now for this tip of the week, here's something contracting officers won't tell you directly, but the data says it loud and clear. They are overworked, and they are tired of reading proposals that take 4 and 5 pages to get to the point. So stop leading with your company history, stop leading with your mission statement, lead with your win theme. That one sentence that tells the buyer exactly why you are the right choice for this specific contract. Then follow it immediately with your value proposition. What will you deliver? What will it cost them if they don't choose you? Now, the buyers who read your proposals are not sitting in a quiet office with time to appreciate your backstory. They are managing dozens of solicitations at once. Get to the point in the first paragraph. Tell them what you're going to do, show them the proof that you've done it before, and move them to a yes. Everything else is noise. Now remember, win theme first, value proposition second, proof third. That's the proposal structure that wins. Now let's take a look at our big map from March 20th to the 26th. Agencies released a record-breaking 30,000 new opportunities nationwide. That is the largest number we have seen all year. That volume shows active buying and strong budget execution across every region is live. 2 things stand out this week. Software modernization continues to rise, and infrastructure spending is holding steady across construction, engineering, and environmental work. Agencies are not waiting, and neither should you. Let's head over to the East Coast. Now, if you work in enterprise IT or compliance support, the East Coast is actively looking for you right now. And New York is not playing small. This region is leaning into digital transformation and compliance-first procurement. So again, New York is pushing complex IT modernization tied to large-scale enterprise environments. Followed behind them is New Jersey. New Jersey is prioritizing compliance and accounting to support clean audits and operations tight. Now, this region is signaling a strong preference for vendors who can stabilize systems and deliver clean, complete documentation. So fast talkers lose here. Methodical, compliance-ready vendors win. Now, heading over to the South, we have to give it to the big boys. Texas and Florida are buying at large volume. So if you're in healthcare, workforce management, or IT infrastructure, the South has contracts with your name on it. Texas continues to drive high volume infrastructure and IT backbone upgrades, while Florida is investing in healthcare support and workforce management as its population continues to rise. So this signals, as a region, they're preparing for long-term operational loads and rapid scaling needs. Now, if you can handle volume and you can prove it, the South will keep you busy. Heading over to the Midwest. The Midwest, they're not so flashy, but they are very consistent. So facilities, IT support, and professional services are moving steadily across this region, and less competition means more room to win. So states like Michigan, they're moving on physical infrastructure and maintenance to keep public assets in shape. And heading over to Missouri, they are focusing on IT stabilization and essential service contracts. So the signal from this particular region is they are securing day-to-day operations to avoid future risk. So the Midwest buyers are methodical. They want proof that your solution integrates cleanly and doesn't disrupt what's already working in their infrastructure. And finally, heading over to the West Coast, again, we're hitting with the big bangers this week. They are just coming out of the woodworks with so much greatness. California is investing in digital government tools and a major infrastructure oversight. So if you can deliver at scale, if you can document it cleanly, the West Coast will pay you handsomely for it. The state of Washington is leaning into specialized consulting and environmental planning, as well as some modernization needs as well. But this region is particularly focused to committing themselves to long-term upgrades and cleaner operational frameworks. So the West Coast funds cutting-edge work, but only if you can back it with methodical field evidence and clear metrics. Now let's head over to Dear Abby. Dear Abby, what is something from SLED that can be misunderstood from a federal standpoint? I appreciate this question so much. Now, the biggest misunderstanding is expecting federal level precision in state and local solicitations. Now, federal procurement has strict formatting, defined evaluation criteria, and a structured response process. SLED procurement is often looser, but that doesn't mean that the bar is lower. It means that the bar is just different. So state and local buyers don't need a perfect proposal structure. They need to feel confident that you understand their risk. So always anchor your response to 3 things: outcome, process, and proof. Outcome is what you will deliver. Process is how you plan to deliver it. And proof is where you've done it before. And as always, ask yourself before you submit, what does a successful vendor for this particular project look like? Find that picture, become that picture, and write your proposal to close the gap where you are and where they need to be. If you want clarity on your next best steps, take our government contracting readiness assessment. And if you want access to this week's contracts, join us in Under Contract Academy. That's it for this week on This Week in Procurement. Remember, opportunities are everywhere. I'm Abby Souffrant, and I'll see you next week.